Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Rishi Sunak blocked plans to rebuild 5 hospitals riddled with crumbling concrete 3 years ago, prompting warnings of a catastrophic risk to patient safety, The Guardian has learned. Just 2 of the 7 hospital rebuilding projects requested by the Department for Health were signed off by the Treasury at the 2020 spending review when Sunak was Chancellor and Steve Barclay, now the Health Secretary, was his Chief Secretary. The other 5 were finally added to the new hospitals program in May when the government amended the list, but it has meant a 3-year delay in starting to rebuild dangerous hospitals. In their most recent risk assessments, all 5 have been graded at catastrophic risk with warnings that an incident is likely. The 5 hospitals are Frimley Park Hospital in Surrey, Airedale General Hospital, Keighley, West Yorkshire, Hinchingbrook Hospital, Huntingdon, Cambridgeshire, Leighton Hospital, Cheshire, and the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Kings Lynn, Norfolk. The revelations will revive the row over reinforced autoclaved aerated concrete, RAC, which dominated the start of the new parliamentary session, with Sunak and his Education Secretary, Gillian Keegan, coming under fire for uncertainty and disruption over crumbling concrete in England's schools. NHS bosses have told hospitals across England to be ready to evacuate staff and patients if buildings containing concrete at risk of collapse start to fall down. NHS England issued the instruction to all 224 health trusts on Tuesday in a letter from Darmite Prentice, the organization's National Director for Emergency Planning and Incident Response, and Jack B. Rock, its Chief Commercial Officer, telling trust officers that they should familiarize themselves with a regional evacuation plan drawn up by the NHS in the east of England so that hospitals can implement it in the event that buildings that contain RAC start to crumble. The 2023-4 risk register of Frimley Park Hospital, which serves Michael Gove's constituency, reported widespread crumbling across its buildings. It warned, "There is a risk of injury or death to patients, visitors, and staff due either to delamination of a roof plank whereby a part of it falls, or a shear collapse with no warning due to limited bearing on the concrete support beam." Across the 5 hospitals, there were more than 100 incidents, according to NHS figures, where estate or infrastructure failures resulted in clinical services being delayed or cancelled in the year after the Treasury's decision not to include them in the new hospital building program. Between them, they had a high-risk infrastructure backlog, where repairs must be urgently prioritized to prevent major disruption, totaling £117 million, but less than a third of that amount was spent. There were 21 patient safety incidents related to critical infrastructure risk in 2021-22 at the 5 hospitals. An NAO report in July, Progress with the New Hospital Program, suggested the risk of RAC to the 5 hospital buildings was known at the time of the Department for Health's bid to the Treasury. However, the government decided against including all 7 hospitals because further assessment was required. Yet after a school roof collapse led to a national alert in 2019 about the risk of sudden failure, NHS England asked trusts to survey their estates for RAC. 41 buildings at 23 trusts contained the material, including the 7 hospitals with RAC present throughout, which were at particular risk. At a Westminster Policy Forum on Tuesday, Tim Phillips, Director of Health Value for Money at the National Audit Office, said the NHS knew back in October 2020 that it had a lot of RAC across its estate, including 7 hospitals that are to all intents and purposes constructed entirely of RAC. Back in 2020, the Department of Health actually proposed to the Treasury that NHP should be used to replace all 7 RAC hospitals at that point, so in effect that all 7 hospitals should be part of 40 new hospitals as early as 2020. But at that time, government decided that only 2 of the 7 would be put in the program. What we've seen since is that government has had to row back on that decision. Wes Streeting, the Shadow Health Secretary, said, "Rishi Sunak and Steve Barclay are the guilty men of the crisis in our NHS. They literally failed to fix the roof when the sun was shining, putting patients and staff at risk and leaving taxpayers to pick up the bill. There is no image that better sums up what the Conservatives have done to our public services than the sight of crumbling hospitals." Suggested that as Chief Secretary to the Treasury, he was responsible for setting the overall spending envelope, and that it was for the department to prioritize schemes. A government spokesperson said, "These claims are untrue. The funding was not rejected by the Treasury or the Chancellor and Chief Secretary at the time, and there was an agreement to link these decisions into the wider New Hospitals program. They added that the full extent of RAC issues were not known until 2022 following an independent report by engineering consultants Mott MacDonald. The Guardian has spent the past 13 years tirelessly investigating the shortcomings of the British Conservative government: austerity, Brexit, Partygate, cronyism, the Liz Truss debacle, and the individual failings of ministers who behave as if the rules don't apply to them. Our work has resulted in resignations, apologies, and policy corrections. And with an election just round the corner, we won't stop now. It's crucial that we can all make informed decisions about who is best to lead the UK. Will you invest in The Guardian this year? Unlike many others, The Guardian has no shareholders and no billionaire owner. Just the determination and passion to deliver high-impact global reporting, always free from commercial or political influence. Reporting like this is vital for democracy, for fairness, and to demand better from the powerful. And we provide all this for free for everyone to read. We do this because we believe in information equality. Greater numbers of people can keep track of the events shaping our world, understand their impact on people and communities, and become inspired to take meaningful action. Millions can benefit from open access to quality, truthful news, regardless of their ability to pay for it.